Epictetus and control, and how to respond to what is out of our control. The objective asks to please summarize what Epictetus considers in our control and outside our control, and how he suggests we respond to things outside of our control. And so the first few slides will just be a little background to make sense of this objective. And that is, what do the Stoics want, ultimately? Their end goals, happiness, right? Eudaimonia. Uncontroversial, I think. We get this. This is secured through living the philosophical life. Plato likes philosopher kings. The Stoics like everyone to be a philosopher. This is the life of reason. And this will bring with it calmness, freedom from the passions, and it will bring with it good feelings. And so this requires that we have the ability to live as a rational being should live. We can learn this, we can apply our minds to this, and we can achieve this. So one aspect of what makes you a rational person, which will inform how to live as a rational person, is to know what is in your control. We just saw that we should have a Stoic attitude to death, as that presumably is out of our control. But I will get to the details in a moment. So the moral world, right? When we're talking about in and out of control, in this case, this is a moral or an ethical stance that Epictetus is advising. So to live an excellent life, a happy life, achieve eudaimonia, humans ought to take care of their moral character. And to do so, you have to act virtuously, because acting virtuously is what it means to be morally good, and to indulge in the vices or to act with viciousness is morally bad. Sorry, that is definitely not orally. Morally bad, my apologies. So there's virtue, there's vice, and then there are things that are simply indifferent, neither virtuous nor vicious. And that is what we will focus on now. So the indifferent things, neither morally good nor morally bad in themselves. They are merely instrumental. And so the logic of instrumentality is quite important here. I've made an analogy with paper money. Paper money has instrumental value. As an object, the best you can do is burn it for warmth, for example. So a $100 note, what the note itself is worth as an object is maybe a bit of heat. You can't eat it, it won't nourish you. You can't really build shelter out of it. It's a very non-useful item. It's useful in the sense that you can exchange it for other things. So money in itself is an instrumental goal. It's not a final goal. You don't want money for money. You want money to use it for something else. Food, shelter, etc., etc. Which raises the question, is money itself good or bad? Well, it's instrumental. It depends how you use it. You can use it to do virtuous acts. You can use it to do vice or to commit actions of vice. So it depends. In the same sense, indifferent things, according to Epictetus, are not necessary for eudaimonia. If you don't have indifferent things in your life, it doesn't preclude the end goal of happiness. But if you do have them, you can use them in a way to move towards the happiness. So really, what are we talking about? In our control and out of our control. We need to know what is in our control and out of it in order to maintain a good character. We make a mistake, typically, says Epictetus, and that is to think that that which is indifferent is actually good. And this leaves us frustrated and overwhelmed. In the same case, we sometimes think what is indifferent is actually bad, that it has moral value, good or bad. This gets us frustrated, we get overwhelmed. We can do nothing about it precisely because it's out of our control. Indifferent things are not in our power. We do not have absolute control over them. They just happen. Like death, right? We cannot absolutely control death. At some point we will die. And that is out of our control. We can take small steps to avoid it, take smaller risks, but that doesn't mean we have absolute control over death. So out of our control, things that just happen, or things that are not our own doing. Sickness, poverty, reputation. Reputation, for example, exists in the minds of other people. We can do things to try to improve our reputation, of course, or weaken it, if you want. But how someone else thinks about you is not something over which you have direct control. That happens in their head and not in yours. So these are typically things out of our control. In our control, really, is how we think about things. Or, as he would say, things that are our own doing. So our opinion about stuff, our choices and actions, our desires. In other words, these are all things that we can change our mind about. An opinion, you can change your mind about. It takes time. It takes self-mastery or self-control. But over time, you can change your opinion. The choices you make are yours. The actions you engage in are yours. These are within our control. So these are not indifferent. And then the excellent life. So to act with virtue regarding the things in our control. Your actions, your choices, your opinions. And what do we do about that which we cannot control? Simply don't stress about them. When misfortune occurs, control what you can. In other words, your mind. Control your reaction, control your emotions, control your choices in regard to them. If you had a wonderful day planned and unfortunately it rains, this is not a morally evil thing. It's not a morally good thing. What's important here for moral value is your response and your reaction to this. How do you face this event which is outside of your control? And so I just quote Epictetus here at the end. Ask of every harsh event, he says, whether it has to do with the things that are up to us or those that are not. And if it has to do with the things that are not up to us, be ready to reply, it is nothing to me. So here we get the modern idea of being stoic. The modern idea of being stoic is not quite what the Stoics had in mind. Modern idea of being stoic is to face hardship and not show the emotion. For Epictetus, it's not to feel the emotion, not simply not to show it. But if it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do. Focus your time and energy on what you can control, that is your mind. And this will get rid of frustration and help you towards the excellent life.